To God be all the glory, giving God thanks again for allowing us to open our eyes and see a blessed another day in the of the year. Thanking God for another month in the season. And we are now in the month of March, and this is Women's Month of a woman celebrating women of excellence. And one of the people right now I've been grieving with, of course, you all know who have been following me here on the Casey McDaniel platform, is that I've been really grieved about the passing of Angela Stone. But before I get into it, which I'm only going to give you 10 minutes of because I'm getting myself out here to go to work, and I said I wanted to bring you a sprinkle of this morning about Angela Stone. But before we get into it, let me just lift up our Father's prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, Lord, but deliver us from evil. For thou you are the kingdom and the power and the glory and ever and ever. Amen. I had to lift up that prayer, and it really helps me, to be able to calm my soul down, because I am outraged. I am hurting. I am feeling a certain type of way, and I just need to talk to the Lord about it. And God will direct me, my mind, in the right place and how I should do things. And I give God all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. Just knowing about her past, and I was just watching some throwbacks of her performance with certain on certain platforms. One of the people I haven't heard from in a long time, and I don't know if he still had his podcast, was Michael Bazin, and she was up there performing with Betty Wright, another soulful voice from the '70s. And it was nice of her to be on the stage with some of the people who had paved the way for her, and she loved Betty Wright and so many other soul sisters that came before, and the beautiful music Gladys Knight, and so on and so on. Celebrating excellent women of color, and all different diaspora. And and it's funny because I don't want to just make this out of a black and white thing, but sometimes, you got to go to your own first. And then Jesus Christ taught us all of that. Of course, you're going to always love the skin you're in and see people that look like you that suffer a certain kind of racism, discrimination, um, colorism, and all that. It just does something to your spirit. You know what I'm saying? It really does something to your spirit. Not that you angry of other people of other different ethnicity or background, but when you see your people being mistreated, it just goes through you. It's like sending a message not only just to that person, but it's also sending a message to a whole community. And the thing is that Angela Stone, and I'm not going to sit up here and say no, allegedly nothing. It is what it is. I mean, she came and spoke her truth right in front of the people and the public when she went on her last IG page and talked about how she was being silenced, you know, silenced, and how she's been robbed out of her profits by the evil, demonic industry and what they've done to her, the exploitation of the women in there and all the cruel treatment that happens behind the scene of a lot of artists, the men and the women. And the thing that really bothered me the most is when I see platforms take this and they run with it and they use this to attach it to the Diddy. Now they trying to say that no black man, and I ain't running with the Diddy stuff, okay? No black man has that much power in the industry. I'm sorry. They just there as gatekeepers, maybe to talk to some of the brothers or talk to some of the sisters when they can't step out of line and they don't want things to be told and they telling it like what they did to R. Kelly. And I'm going to continue to speak on R. Kelly because see, this platform is an R. Kelly platform, but it's a whole lot of other stuff, the injustice, not only to R. Kelly, but just to a whole lot of other black Americans in entertainment. So now they want to buy these Africans over from Africa, these Nigerians and these Ghanaians, nothing against the brothers in Africa and the sisters, but we just saying this is how they trying to now replace us because now we are too free in our spirit and they don't like that. So now they got to find somebody who feels like, oh, we're going to do what they say because we want, don't care how much $1 million they give me and they giving her 10 million. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and I'm just going to do what Massa want me to do because you can't really understand what we've been through in America because you wasn't from America. You was over in Africa dealing with your um, government over there and you escaped there to come here. But they got a whole lot to say about Americans, but why don't they ever go back and live there? The only time they go back is when they get buried there. They don't go back there to live, but to get buried. So it's just like one big African graveyard, you could say. But anyway, back to what I'm saying and everything, because I was just listening to a video about an African artist, um, Nigerian woman who wore some gown to the Oscars and tried to say that it was in honor of Dan McDaniel, Hattie McDaniel. When Hattie McDaniel, when that is not the truth, because Hattie McDaniel did not wear a gown when she went to receive her Oscars for Going in the Wind. Hattie McDaniel had to receive her Oscars in the basement. How horrible was that? And the dress she wore was like a old, like some a church woman dress to go to receive her reward in the basement. So that's a part of our history that is being an untold truth by her accepting that Oscar award and in that honor of so Hattie McDaniel, and she was not wearing anything that Hattie McDaniel was receiving at the time of receiving her Oscar. Anyway, I'll get back into this conversation later. I just wanted to just come here this morning and just tell you how I'm feeling today. We are in the month of March celebrating Women Excellence. And let's not forget to continue to fight for the freedom of Robert Sylvester Kelly, the release of Robert Sylvester Kelly. We already know what's going on with him. Is the bogus lies and things that were told to silence him and put him behind bars in jail and abuse him, a beating on him, and what God knows what other stuff is going on with him and all the greedy people that came and took his money. He's not a lawyer. He's not none of that stuff. He hired people that was going to protect his money and his profits and whatever his writings are to his music. Just like Angie, she's going like she said none of her fathers of her children supported her and helped her. And we all know who the men she was in, well, not all the men she was involved with, but we know those two, we know at least one of them. Okay. And of course, regardless of the fact that she met him when he was 19 and she was already almost close to 30, 11 years difference, the significance in the age difference or whatever, like, but you're old enough to know better. Okay? That's the whole bottom line to it. You signed up for it. And then on top of that, you and her had a child together, a son. And right now, her son and everything, the family and everything, they did a toxology report, and they realized that her death was not caused by the accident. And I'm just going to say that because I got it from somewhere and I'm going to say it. Her death was not caused by the accident. I believe she was dead before they put her in um that car. I believe before the accident she was already dead. But to make it cover it up and make it look like an accident, that's what they did. Because there ain't no way in the world 9 people were in that car, in that SUV or that Alexis or Mercedes that she was in, that van, that the only person that it came to fatality was Angie Stone out of 9 people. Make it make sense. And it turned over supposedly 3 times and and it went like 5 miles when it turned, when it was hit by a tractor trailer and these cars. And some people even talked about some of these trucking companies that are not good trucking companies. And sometimes if people want them to have the put them on an assignment. They so desperate for money, they'll do whatever just to get paid or whatever. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too deep into all of that. I gotta get myself out of here. It's time for me to get to work. Travel to work this morning, but I'm not gonna dig too deep in it this morning. Maybe later on this evening, I will come back with you if I have any more details on the legendary Angie Stone. So right now, let me get myself out of here for work. But I'm just really, really going through it with this one because of the way I enjoyed her music. I enjoyed her voice. I enjoyed what she spoke on about women, um, to empower us, to strengthen us, to stay strong, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. To God be all the glory. God bless you. I love you. And if God's willing, I'll be back with you again this evening. If God's willing. So you all take care.